Welcome or welcome back to Lift You Up Inspiring Health Stories. I'm your host, Tamika Bickham. I'm the founder and chief storyteller of TB Media Group. But for the purpose of this podcast, I am your health and happiness matchmaker. Now, before I introduce you to today's guest, you know what I'm going to ask you to do if you haven't already. It's subscribe on YouTube, turn on those notifications, and connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to stay connected with you. Now, today you are going to meet someone who I have been a fan of for such a long time as a dancer. And maybe you are one too, or just a lover of the sport. Louis van Amstel is someone who I've admired for a long time. You may know his name from Dancing with the Stars, where he was on that show for 10 seasons, also choreographed for So You Think You Can Dance, and so much more. I'll let you hear from him. But we're talking about his life story, how he got introduced to dance, his path through TV shows and choreographing, creative directing, and so much more, as well as how he's turned that into an online business. Hey, they say movement is medicine, but he truly shows that dance is the real medicine. Our physical, mental, and emotional health is not just a want. It is a need for happy lives and prosperous businesses. Lift You Up is the podcast where we share inspiring health stories from business owners who are fulfilling their purpose to live their healthiest lives and helping you do the same. From former TV reporter to marketing entrepreneur and content creator, I care about sharing stories that matter and stories that connect us. I'm your host, Tamika Bickham, your health and wellness matchmaker. Well, I have to say, I am really fangirling right now. I'm so excited to meet Louis van Amstel. I feel like a man who really needs no introduction. Hi, Louis.
Hi, Tamika. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
If people don't watch Dancing with the Stars or So You Think You Can Dance, they wouldn't have any idea who I am.
All right. Well, I'll give him a brief introduction. I'll let you take it away. From your bio, I know you're a 3-time world dance champion, Dancing with the Stars pro, choreographer, creative director of Dancing with the Stars live tour, founder of LeBlast Fitness, which I know we're going to talk a lot more about, and I'm sure so much more.
Well, I am now a proud father of 2 kids,
There
adopted.
you go.
So that was a life-changing experience because we adopted older children. But besides
Congratulations.
the personal life, LeBlast, we're going in so many different directions with LeBlast. So it really takes up most of my time.
I want to take it back, far back in the day, because I'm so excited to speak with you because I am a dancer. I grew up a dancer. I started dancing when I was 3.
Didn't know that.
And
Awesome.
I danced all the way through college at the University of Miami, and I haven't danced in years now. But I'm just excited to talk to another dancer. I mean, I'm, a fraction of what you've accomplished, but I have a love for dance. So I'm curious as far as when you started, like early days with dance, and when you knew, oh, this is my passion.
Well, I was 10 years old, and it was actually, and it's even in my bio because it's kind of nice to know for people that it was my grandparents and my mother that said, you need to dance. Okay. For a very good reason, which I didn't know then, I'm 10 years old, but for etiquette, for manners, that you're able to ask someone else to dance. Now, after about 2 years, we did one competition in my home country, and I won. And it wasn't about the winning, but I loved how it made me feel. And so it wasn't really the passion for dance, but I liked the fact that I was winning competitions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my competitiveness started coming out. Now, I have to say, too, and it might kind of sound very negative, but for me, dance, the first 5 years between 10 and 15, I didn't know it then, but I now looking back in hindsight, I did it as therapy. It was my way of communicating without saying a word, without having to be embarrassed of what was going on in my home that no one on the outside world knew. There's a lot of alcohol involved and a lot of fighting and sometimes physical, but mostly emotional and mental. And as a kid, when you have to endure that, it's not easy. So dance was my way of letting out whatever anxiety I had. And then when I went international, because apparently I had the talent to have a career internationally. So then by 16, I had an international partner, and my third international partner from England, that's Julie Fryer. And she and I together have gained 3 world championship titles together. And, but I knew probably by 15, 16 that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Wow. And was it, you mentioned there was a lot, it was your therapy. There was a lot going on at home from everything you just described. So was it your grandmother who looked at your situation and what you were going through? Because she first prompted you to get into dance. So was she kind of there on the back end like, hey, I think this would be a good outlet for you?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah.
Even though a word about that was never spoken. It was always subliminal. And now, even when you bring it up, I had a moment, I never thought of it that way, but oftentimes it was my grandparents. And my father passed away of, unfortunately, alcohol and a lot worse. But my mom and I have gone through it all. She now lives with us. She's a loving grandma. She takes care of the kids when we're working. Right now, she's at home taking care of them. So even though we had a lot of issues growing up, my mom and I worked through them. And because of it, we're stronger now later in life.
So fast forward then, World Championships. What kind of happens from there, and what leads you to where I was first introduced to you on Dancing with the Stars?
So 94, 95, 96 were those 3 years. 1995, 96. I'm from Old Amsterdam, but Manhattan, as many historians know, was New Amsterdam for a long time. So I feel like it's my kindred city.
Yeah.
And in 97, I'm a dance lover, but also other forms of dance and Broadway. I always loved to do the triple thread. I only did 2. So I was in New York, and someone offered me a job to choreograph for a Broadway project. It wasn't a Broadway show, but it was a project. And I said no, because I was living in Holland, in Amsterdam, and I had a partner. I have a career in ballroom dancing. I sat on the plane back from JFK to Amsterdam, and I don't even know where the heck it came from, but I started crying. I started bawling. And I'm sitting there, it's dark, this is a red-eye flight. What's going on? Why am I bawling here? And then I started kind of going back. Oh, I regret saying no. I didn't want to say no, I wanted to say yes, but I didn't. So instead of just emailing the person later after I landed to say, hey, maybe I do want to do this project, instead on the plane, I took the phone, sliced my credit card, called my mother at 3 a.m. in the morning in Europe, and I made her cancel all my lessons. I asked her to call Julie, my partner, to come to the airport. We sat down, we talked. This was February of 1997. In July of 1997, I moved to the United States.
And what did your partner say? Because did that mean that impact her career?
It did, and that's the downside of ballroom dancing. You have a partner, so if one of us decides to move on, the other one has no choice. You have no choice. Will I continue? Yeah, you can, but now you have to find another partner of world level. It takes years to really gel into a partnership. But she was, an amazing person. I did, however, not expect her to react the way she did. She said, Louis, I'm not going to stop you from what your heart tells you to do. So
Aw.
That's really what she said. So we created an exit plan, um, and I moved.
What happened with the project?
Um, it never even happened.
Ugh,
But I realized it wasn't the project.
right.
I just wanted to move to the United States.
Yeah. It
It
all.
was that. And New York, it was Broadway. That's really what I wanted to do. But here's the irony. So I moved for Broadway instead of going to New York for a few weeks and do an audition to see how I like it. I didn't. I just moved everything behind, and moved to the United States. And I did one audition the first week I was there. I was appalled at the politics. I walked out and said, I do not want to do Broadway, but now I am in New York City. What am I going to do? But the beauty of it all is I didn't know how much ballroom dancing and dance sport there was in New York City. So if I say Max Smirkovsky, Val Smirkovsky, Tony Dovolani, Karina Smirnoff, are you familiar with those faces?
Yeah, I am.
Well, within 3 weeks of me moving to the United States, I was becoming the coach of Max, Val, Tony, Karina, many more, Cheryl later on. But in that first month, that's when I met Max and Val, and I became the coach in New York City, and I was working my tail off literally within the first 2 months. January of 2005, I got a call from a producer in England from the BBC that if I was interested in joining this new summer show that ABC had bought and they were going to test it out, if that would be something that ABC would continue broadcasting. Well, the name of that show is Dancing with the Stars. So that was in January of 2005. And of course, I said, yes, I want to be part of this. So in March, I flew to LA, did a 45-minute audition. And when I left the room, I had the job. And the rest is history.
Yeah, I was definitely one of those early viewers. I started watching right from the beginning because at that time I was I was just junior, senior around that time in high school.
Rub it in.
That's why I didn't want to. That's why I hesitated. I wasn't trying to.
It's all right.
I was actively dancing at the time, and everyone in my, dance groups were all watching the show, and we were excited about it. So I definitely remember that. That was at a time I was also considering pursuing dance in college as well. So I'm an early viewer, an early fan. Tell me about how that very first season, the summer show, how that went, because I know it's evolved and changed over the years. So what was that experience like?
So really, they didn't have a lot of dancers. So a lot of the dancers, including Max, they said, no, I'm not going to do that show. I'm still in my career as a competitive dancer. And he was right. He was right. I was his coach at the time too. And I was actually glad that he said that, because he was on the verge to be in the World Championships final. He had a huge career in front of him. But then season 3, he joined, and then he actually protected his brother because, of course, the show wanted Val right away. He was young, he's hot, great dancer, world junior champion, and Max said no. And I always commended him for that, because I'm sure the public would say, well, yeah, you don't want him to take the wind out of your sail. But that's not why Max did it. Because our business is a big business. It's its own bubble, and it's a very lucrative business too. If you're a champion, it's a lucrative business worldwide. And Val could have been world champion, but in later seasons, like Derek, like Mark, like Val, these 3 young men all had a world level career in ballroom dancing. I got Derek and Julianne on board because they were off from their either competitive side or Julianne was just burned out for a while and she just needed a break. And I said, you know what? Why don't you do the tour? It's fun. You make money. It's no stress because you're a dancer and it's fun to do a tour. So she said yes. And that was the beginning of an amazing career for her. But then I asked her, I said, what's your brother doing right now? Because we're going on a summer tour. If he's free, I would love for him to join during the summer. And he said yes. And of course, when the TV show producers saw them on tour, they were like, do you want to do audition for the TV show? We want you. And then Julianne came on board one season, I think 4 and 5. And then Derek came on board, and then he has won 6 times, I believe. So I'm proud of the fact that I convinced them, you need to join that summer tour because these kids' talent needs to be seen by the world.
Now, if you had to choose, what did you prefer, the show or the tour?
My creative side would say the tour, but my business side says the TV show.
Why?
Well, having 25 million people watch you, that gives you a lot of opportunity. But the difference of the theater, no, not the theater, the stadium experience is that when we come out, hearing 14,000 people applauding and screaming your name, I mean, we felt like rock stars.
Yeah.
And because this is the downside of TV, we know that these 14 cameras that pop up left and right above you, next to you, they represent all these millions of people, but we don't see them. Right. We hear 750 people in the room where we film the show. It's amazing, but stadium experience, I mean,
is a different energy. Yeah.
It is a different energy.
So fast forward, you were with Dancing with the Stars for 10 seasons?
Yes, spread out over, 13 years.
Okay, over 13 years. At what point, I guess, was it that you left the show? What went into that decision? And tell me about your journey since then.
So it wasn't really my choice. That's the honest truth. So I did season 1, 2, and 3. Choreographed and co-directed 3 out of the 4 tours. Got nominated. And then season 4, yeah, we're going to give you a break. So here I am not doing season 4. I was flabbergasted. I was not, that came out of left field.
Yeah.
So, but now in hindsight, I thank ABC and the BBC for doing that because it made me realize that this is a temporary gig. Yes, you can be a celebrity, but you can be a celebrity and tomorrow it can be over. Right. So this is where I started LeBlast. It wasn't LeBlast yet, but Lisa Rinna from season 2, she did the tours too, the first 2. And she said, Louis, I did the show. I did 2 out of these 4 tours. I am done. I can't go back as much as I love it. And I blame you for being addicted to ballroom dancing. And I want to continue. You have to start a class. Okay, so I started a class. And within 6 months, I was doing 6 classes a week and waiting list. It was crazy what happened because this was in Sherman Oaks, right across from where we film. And Lisa was advertising as the celebrity.
At this time, who were these classes open to and who was coming to the classes?
Anyone who wanted in the area. So everyone from Sherman Oaks, Encino, even people from Beverly Hills. Lots of people from Westwood. Anyway, 20-mile radius around Beverly Hills. I've had a lot of celebrities that came and test out LeBlast, and then, whoops, they ended up on Dancing with the Stars seasons later. LeBlast was used for many different reasons. Mm-hmm. And then season 9 happened. So I didn't do season 4, season 5. Then I, in season 6, had Priscilla Presley, which was an amazing experience for me. And then I was on season 9, Kelly Osbourne. And both Kelly and I both expected, you know what, we're going to have fun for as long as it lasts because I have a feeling it's not going to last very long. And I didn't like that was the perspective. and what Kelly thought what was going to happen. So it was my goal with Kelly to help her with her confidence, to say, you know what, it's not about making it to week 2. It's about doing whatever you can to make you feel good about you. Then on top, we got Viennese Waltz. In my opinion, as a dancer, the most boring dance you can imagine. We only turn to the right or we turn to the left, and you have to be in close hold the entire time. So I thought, okay, producers, you are setting us up to fail. I realized, wait a minute, she comes from this musical family. So I just said, I'm going to play the music. Listen, just come with me. And that was the deal. That was the change, the game changer. She just moved her body. Anyway, long story short, the week before the show started, I knew we were going to surprise the heck out of America. She was going to surprise everyone. And then when that music would start, she would actually get jaw-dropping response. And exactly that happened. She became the swan. She became the underdog, and she made it to the final. This is just what happened. Yeah. So because of that, I started LeBlast, the company, and made it a company to bring what we do on Dancing with the Stars to the general public. So anyone who loves this show and wants to experience what these celebrities experience, they now can experience the same thing. Full body workout. We do all the dances we do on the show. And now 12 years in, we've gone worldwide. We have an on-demand program that anyone at home can join. You can do it from the comfort of your own home.
That's awesome. So the season after you're paired with Kelly Osbourne was your last season?
No, I did 4 seasons back to back. Season 9, season 10, season 11, and season 12. And then I missed 2 seasons, and then I was in the All-Star season with Sabrina Bryan.
Awesome. So at that point, your career with Dancing with the Stars was done after that season.
No. Well, so it's funny.
All Stars, and it keeps going.
And then it was over because I've had that psychologically happen. Oh, now Dance with the Stars is over. Oh, no, I'm back again. Oh, no,
right.
I'm off again. Oh, I'm back again. And then after season 12, I thought, okay, I'm not in 13. I'm not in 14. Oh, my contract. So I was back at season 15.
Oh, my goodness.
And then my contract was over because it was for 7 years.
Did that make it difficult to pursue other endeavors during those breaks?
Yes, you have to know when you're under contract, you are tied. I had a lot of other opportunities. I couldn't. And this is really one downside. If you sign your contract, if you sign it for so long, but I have to say, the BBC realized that, and they have upped their game. I have to say, they have upped their game throughout the years. They amended the contract. They were fair. I must say, they were fair. But 2 years ago in my home country, I was the judge on Dancing with the Stars in Holland. So, and who knows?
It's in your blood.
I always had a great relationship with all the executive producers, with ABC and BBC. I never was bitter. I was always disappointed when it wasn't on a season, but I was never bitter because it is a show and they have to make decisions what's good for the show. And if they feel I wasn't a good fit, well, I didn't like it, but I wasn't bitter about it because right now I have a worldwide company. So I can't really be bitter.
Was it during these seasons that you were off that you were able to continue kind of molding and shaping LeBlast, or how did that happen?
Yes, and it wasn't even because I wanted to. I was forced to. Because here's another thing, and maybe this is good perspective for people who might sometimes not understand celebrity lifestyle. When you are in that world, I mean, money is good. So you live according to that, and it becomes your new lifestyle. And then when you are not on a season, that money is now not coming in. I had a lot of aha moments of, hey, no, this doesn't last for long. You have to be more careful. You have to be mindful. And this is where I thought, yeah, but I like this lifestyle, so I'm just going to work harder. I'm just going to create my own business and businesses. So I choreographed another theater show. I did commercials. I mean, all kinds of things. But also I built LeBlast in the meantime. And in doing these classes before it became a company, I just started really thinking of how can I format this while I'm doing these classes. So I'm making money teaching classes, but in the meantime, I use that time to really build on what would be a continuous program.
It sounds like what you did was leverage that opportunity and the experience that you have and make good business decisions.
Yes, I can now, looking back, I can say, but I also have, and I will always thank what my publicist slash agent, and the most important part, has become a close friend, Jay Schwartz. He was my publicist and still is. Um, he said, Louis, before I'm going to publicize you and take advantage of all that Hollywood has to offer, first we're going to set up a team to protect you. So I made some really good decisions because of advice from that team that protected me, and say, hey, you're not on Dancing with the Stars anymore. You cannot do this. But my best friend lawyer said, if you can get on paper that you can use as seen on Dancing with the Stars, then you can use that in many different ways. And yes, I got that permission. I use it in all my marketing for LeBlast because, and I also think, and this is for the viewers too, I never did it behind their back.
Right.
I asked for it. And I think they also respected me for it, that I didn't just do it. I didn't ask for forgiveness after doing it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I could do it. No, I asked them. But then again, I have to say it was because of the team behind me or with me. They not only protected me, they helped me find ways to not do what I love to do, is choreograph and dance, and now I do it all day long for my own company, LeBlast.
So what does LeBlast look like today?
So LeBlast is in the dance fitness industry, and dance fitness in general is labeled as cardio. It's cardio. That's it. So LeBlast today is 100% dance, ballroom dancing partner 100% fitness. Meaning, if it is the dance element, it might be cardio and emotional health, but we do squats, lunges, forward, back, left, right. We do weight training in rumba, merengue, in Viennese waltz, because we are still doing it in hold. Now imagine weights in your hands and you're doing posterior deltoids when you do the hold, or bicep curls, tricep extensions. We use all the dances now with weight training, interval training. For people who want to do plyometrics, we use quick step and we use plyometrics. We do jive, we do Lindy Hop, we do them all with all well thought out components of physical fitness. I've realized with that season with Kelly, how I was part of one of the most transformative journeys of a human being that went from 0 to 100 miles in 3 months, losing so much weight, which wasn't even the intention. The intention was just to help make her feel better about herself. And the results, I want that for the rest of the world. And I know I sound sappy and all over the top, but that's what we're doing right now. And it took 12 years to build. And I'm looking back and it was worth every single step, because I can say at 49, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in better shape than I was when I competed ballroom dancing in the 90s. And I have a complete life. And that is in part so because every time I do LeBlast, I realize that when I preach to everyone else, mind, body, soul, Get involved physically, mentally, emotionally. Explore who you are. Don't be afraid to explore.
You're a living, breathing example of how it works.
Well, we remember about 10 hours ago, we started talking about when I started between 10 and 15. It
Yeah.
was therapy for me. It still is. But we don't have to talk about it. LeBlast is not a couch that you sit on. No, LeBlast is, without having to say a word, it's the best therapy in the world. It's because dance does it. Dance will give you that opportunity to explore you. We set ourselves apart because we do that full body workout. We do weight training. We do all of it, but in disguise. We're still dancing while rumba, merengue, samba. It doesn't matter, but it's the overall health and well-being, because that's what I personally find so important. And then on the other note, now that my mom is a grandmother, and those kids have energy. I see her sometimes at the end of the day. She is exhausted, but I can also see that twinkle in her eye because she knows that she can still deal with them and do things with them because she does LeBlast with me. Every live streaming, my mom is next to me, right behind me. She joins in, and she's 74 years old. And she's such an example to so many people that are 74 that cannot say what my mom says. Hey, let's go to the water park. Hey, boys, let's get in. Let's go on a bike ride for 10 miles. She can say it, and she does it. But so many people that are older can't say that. And I want a different life for baby boomers or active aging. Active aging is not, I have to go work out. No, you have to do something what you're passionate about. And so many people love to dance. So why not dance and work out at the same time? You get a double whammy all in one.
Absolutely. So is LeBlast only online now?
No, it's not. So thank you, COVID. I know that's weird to say, right? Thank you, COVID. It forces you to go inside and review your life. And the pandemic did that to me. I mean, is this what I want? Yes, it is. Okay, we can't teach in person because we're in lockdown. What are we going to do? Okay, well, we can reach people at home. How do we do that? Well, we have to go online. Okay, what do we do for that? Luckily, we had just set up live streaming for something completely different. So suddenly, within a week, end of March 2020, we were announced it's a lockdown. Within a week, we offered free classes, LeBlast classes, 5 days a week for 4 months straight. And our goal was to keep people's sanity alive during all this time at home. And then in August of 2020, we thought, okay, we're going back to normal. Well, what were we thinking? We thought we're going back to normal, and then we said, okay, next week is the last time we're doing this because we're going back to normal. Hundreds of emails, angry emails. No, you can't do that to us, and you've changed our life, you affected our lives, you kept our sanity alive for 4 months. You cannot do this. We will pay for this. That's how our on-demand started. So August 1st of 2020, we now have a full-blown on-demand program with 3 different memberships. What happened in those 4 months that we did for free? For 4 months on Fridays, we dedicated it to kids. So we had a lot of Disney, a lot of kid-friendly music, but a lot of Disney. And we had some teachers join in, and they said, Louis, we want this in our schools. So very proudly, we started the LeBlast School program within the Los Angeles Unified School District in a few schools. And this summer, we just tested out, we piloted for Compton School District in LA County, and they absolutely loved it. So now we have an on-demand program for anyone around the world, and we have a school program fully accredited, and it counts towards the school hours for the children, and the teachers absolutely love it.
Awesome. Tell people where they can learn more about LeBlast, connect with you, connect with LeBlast, the website, social media, all the good stuff.
So our website is leblastfitness.com, and that's really our one-stop shop, leblastfitness.com, and you will see front page, you can sign up for the on-demand. It's 2 weeks free. You can try it for 2 weeks, and it is $14.95, $24.95, or $29.99, and that is through 3 different levels of membership, depending on how many days a week would you like to work out. But I'm telling you, for $29.99, you get unlimited live streaming, unlimited on demand. You get a monthly a monthly ballroom webinar with me. It's just amazing what you get for $29.99, and you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And I'm very proud that we have gone virtual since day one of the lockdown to really help people at home. And there are also very many people that are remote that would have to drive 45 minutes to an hour to the nearest gym. So now you can work out at home and still get the same experience. And with dance, there is a downside. And let me just mention the elephant in the room. Everyone feels judged, particularly if you're not a dancer. I'm not a dancer. I can do it. Everyone is judging me. They think I'm stupid, or I think I'm dumb, or I can't get it. Well, first of all, that's your perception, because not many people are judging. If they do, the beauty is when you do it from home, no one is judging because they don't see you.
Exactly. You have that privacy, and you can, use your own time, your own space to work out how you want and feel totally comfortable in that. I love that. So I'm going to make sure to link to the website and all the social media down below.
Yes, we're LeBlast Fitness on Instagram with the official LeBlast Fitness. But yeah, LeBlast Fitness is who we are.
Awesome. I love that. Louis, this has been really great. Is there anything else that you wanted to add that I didn't ask you?
Yeah, LeBlast is my business, and I am darn proud of what we have created. And I always say we, because yes, it's my face, it's my name, I am the creator. But if it weren't for an amazing staff, amazing master trainers, and loyal instructors that really understand the brand, I wouldn't have the program we have today. So we are very proud of who we are as LeBlast. And if people just tuned in, LeBlast is ballroom dancing partner free. All the dances we do with Dancing with the Stars, but it is a full body workout because we want to make sure that one workout covers all the boxes that might be on your Apple Watch for the day, or your steps that you have to make. We want to check all these boxes within one LeBlast workout virtually.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Louis.
Thank you, Tamika, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
I hope you loved hearing all of those insider stories about Dancing with the Stars and just what it's like being a dancer in such a competitive and also fun industry. I loved hearing about it just because dance has been something that is close to my heart since I was just 3 years old. So I'm super excited to check out LeBlast Fitness. I hope you do too. Connect with Louis. Find out more about LeBlast. It's all below in the show notes. And hey, if you're not already connected with me, make sure you do that too. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the places. You know where you can find me. Those links are below too, because you don't want to miss out. We come back each and every week with a new episode. So until I see you back next week, stay happy, stay healthy.